Hey everybody. Well, we all made it through Valentine's Day. Now, I don't know if you had somebody or you didn't, but if you're watching this, then odds are you have problems with chocolate, which I do. Actually, it's not true. I don't have a problem with chocolate. Chocolate has a problem with me. I love chocolate. I could never be angry with chocolate, but chocolate has never done any good things for me. So I'm glad to see that holiday come and go. You know, uh, I did have a few pieces, and I shouldn't have. But you do what you can. You try to don't let it get to you. Don't be discouraged. It's not perfect, so you know. But for the little amount that I did eat compared to what I would normally do, I feel pretty accomplished with that. Now, thankfully, the next holiday would be what, St. Patrick's Day. So beer. I'm not a huge beer drinker. I do like a couple Dos Equis from time to time when I'm barbecuing or something like that. But not a huge drinker myself. Um, I do like I do like some whiskey, but I don't a lot. Occasionally with friends or something like that. So St. Patrick's Day to me is not a huge what would be imbibing holiday, and I don't go crazy getting drunk or anything on St. Patrick's Day. So I'm safe in that way for a little bit. And then Easter. So Easter brings back a lot of memories for me. I can remember my mom making bunny cakes. My mom was a very creative woman. We There were six of us growing up, and I was the youngest of the six. And my dad was a school teacher, so we didn't have a lot of money. So my mom was resourceful. She would bake everything. I mean, Uh, I don't think she ever. Well, that's not true. I was gonna say I don't think she ever bought a store bought cake, but I know I was a little brat several times, and I didn't want her gorgeous homemade cakes. And now looking back as an adult, I could just kick myself in the butt because I mean, she'd put so much effort into just these great creations. As I was growing up, I was, of course, a game geek, and my mom knew this, and so she made me a Legend of Zelda cake, and it really, really, really did look like Link. Sitting there right off the box with his sword and shield, and it really did look like it, and it was great. I mean, it's the quality you could probably go and maybe get in a cake store now. It was actually really good. She knew what she was doing, and so that's why I said I could. I was such a spoiled, but now you can't get those anymore. So cherish what you have while you have it. Just keep that in mind. But yeah. So Easter, she would make these great bunny cakes, and she just take like round cakes and just she would use one for the head, and she would put all this crazy stuff on it. It was just so festive at Easter, and of course, my family we always tried to make a big holiday out of everything. And being Italian, that was a big thing, you family. Um, Lesser so when we moved down uh, from the northern states, but separated from the Italian side of the family and down to the Texas side, it was a little bit of a shock, but they weren't quite as formal. I mean, not formal, but social, I should say, is the word I was looking for. But so we held to our own, and and we had a lot of great times. And I think about that a lot when when we have holidays with our kids and stuff like that, and look forward to the time when our family internally can grow, with my kids and grandkids, and that sort of thing, so that, you know, so maybe we could have that again. What I, remember of uh, growing up. But yeah, it's just the holidays. They always get to me, and as I said, being from the kind of background that I am, growing up, everything was surrounded by eating. And I don't want to say that it's genetics, because I don't believe in that. I believe it's how you were brought up, of course, because I mean, if you were brought up eating for every occasion, or having some sort of celebration where you eat for every occasion, yeah, it's gonna ingrain in your head that that's what you do. And I feel to a lot of extent that's what's happened. I mean, you have a meal for this, you have a meal for that, you have a meal if somebody's sick, you have a meal if somebody died, you have a meal if somebody gets married, you have a meal if somebody gets divorced. You find an excuse to celebrate, I feel, in certain cultures, and then that's one that we just always had. It's just it becomes a part of who you are, and you carry that. And I mean, I'm not saying that it's good or bad, because obviously it's something that I probably took to excess. And you know my mom never told me don't eat something, so either that or she did and I just didn't hear, which is probably more accurate. um, but it's very interesting when you think about all the holidays. And I'm thankful that this year, because I am changing my life, I'm thankful that this year that one more has gone and passed. One more holiday that I made reasonable choices. I'm not going to say good choices, because a good choice would have been not eating any candy, but I made reasonable choices. And yes, I did eat some. And you know there's going to be holidays coming up soon that are going to be very difficult for me, especially Halloween. Halloween is one of my favorite holidays of all. And I don't know if it's because growing up as a kid, I just wanted the chocolate, I just wanted the candy. Because when I grew up, I was out in the country, and there just wasn't a lot of places to go trick or treating. So we had school events that we went to, and they would have like a fall festival every year. So, and there was a lot of stuff that went on with that, and later on with my brothers and sisters, I remember going, trick or treating to some extent, much lesser extent than you would think, if you grew up in the city. Um, but somehow that didn't affect my want for the Halloween candy. So I've got that on the horizon coming up, and that's gonna be a rough one. It's gonna be rough. Um, and of course Christmas and the holiday baking, because I do love to bake at the holidays. So I feel that's gonna be a large roadblock, right then. But we'll get around it. We'll get around it when the time comes. But right now, I feel I got a breather. You know, I toughed it through Valentine's Day. St. Patrick's Day is not going to be that big of a deal to me. Um, Easter, I mean, I don't know. I love some jelly beans. Gotta admit, I love jelly beans. But I don't think that Easter is going to be that big of a deal for me. Um, who doesn't love Cadbury eggs or the cream eggs? Or I'm not a fan of the caramel eggs. They just kind of feel weird. They taste weird. I don't know. But I think I'll be okay. I think I've changed. And one of the things that I know that I've changed on is, as the other day we thought, well, we'll have a nice dinner, and what would we want? So we both decided, my wife and I, that let's have some meatballs and spaghetti. Actually make from scratch everything. And the funny thing is, we made it probably a quarter of the portion that would have been normal for us. Pretty big eaters, as you could imagine at times. And we hadn't had spaghetti in a very long time. And then after we had made it to set it on the plate, I mean, I might have eaten maybe half. And I had four meatballs. I ate two. I just couldn't, I just didn't want to eat it. I mean, I probably could have forced myself, but I just didn't want to eat it. It didn't feel right. Didn't feel like it was something I wanted to eat. It was good. It was delicious, in fact. But after a while, my stomach just kind of said, I think you're done. And I was fine with that. I was oddly fine with that. And it was a different experience. And it kind of told me that, yeah, I'm going to be okay. I might not win every day. I certainly won't win every battle. But I'm doing good. And I'm keeping this up. And if I can change enough of my ways internally so that I do feel full after eating, much smaller portions. Oh my goodness, much smaller portions. Then I can beat this. I can do this. And you know what, you can too. I know that there's times where, you're probably struggling and you're thinking, this is, what am I doing? What am I doing? I'm torturing myself. What am I doing? This is never going to happen. But it is. It is happening. It is happening. You don't see it happening. But it is happening. You've got to have faith in yourself. And you got to be strong for yourself. Because nobody can be strong for you. Nobody. People can say they have your back. Nobody's got your back. You got to have your back. Because when they're not around, you're all you've got. And you got to be strong for yourself. You got to be strong for the future. And you got to ask yourself, why are you doing this? Is it to fit into something? Or is it for this? Or whatever reason. It's got to be strong enough for you to want to. And of course, as I've said in the past, mine is life. Life. And not just life, a better life. And, yeah, I'm doing okay. And Easter? Forget about it. Halloween? Halloween might be a different story. I might not make good choices at Halloween. But you know what? I'll get there. I'll get there and I'll be doing good when I do. Because I'm going to be trying my best. And I'm not going to give up. And don't you give up either. Because you can do it too. Alright. Well, you've listened to me babble on long enough. So, I hope you had a good day today. And hope tomorrow's even better. And, till then, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.